If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. It's a poem by Shel Silverstein to start off our magical journey through virtual Sunday school. I'm Shannon Boston, your Director of Religious Exploration at All Souls Unitarian Church, where we love beyond belief. Each week we'll offer a mini lesson, but before we start this week's activity, I want to talk to you about our peace practices, which is something that you can continue to do day in, day out, that's part of your Unitarian Universalist identity, part of your All Souls genetics, as it were. Our peace practices are 3 simple yet pretty profound rules. They go like this. 1, be kind in word and deed. That's everything we say and everything we do. Number 2, respect yourself and all others and the environment. That's a lot. That's respect everything. And number 3, everyone gets to play. These are practices. This is what we try for. Every day, we set this intention. We say, this is what I want to do. I want to be kind in word and deed. I want to show respect to myself and to everyone and to everything. And I want everyone to get a chance to enjoy themselves. I will try and make that happen. And with that kind of attitude and that kind of intention, the world can be a better place.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I hope you've been enjoying some of the beautiful weather and the rain and the storms. This morning, I would like to welcome all of us together with a chalice lighting and a poem by Lord Byron. It goes like this. There is a pleasure in the pathless woods. There is a rapture on the lonely shore. There is society where none intrudes by the deep sea, and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature more. I love that poem. It tells me a little bit about Lord Byron. It tells me that when he needs calm, that the ocean holds that calm for him, the deep sea, the sound of the waves. Have you ever felt overwhelmed or like you just needed some quiet time and some space? I think a lot of us feel that way sometimes. So, what I'd like to talk with you about today and share with you is the idea of creating our very own inner sanctums. A sanctum is a place of sanctuary, of isolation, but on purpose, not like the lonely kind of alone, the kind where we can be ourselves and we can feel connected to that love, that energy that connects us to everything, where we can feel centered. And so I want to think a little bit today. The question I want us to ask ourselves is if we could build an inner sanctum, what would it be like? A special place just for us. So I want to share some inner sanctums with you. I want to share first one of the most famous places to go to be alone, the Fortress of Solitude. This is where Superman would go when he just needed space from the human world, when he had an inner conflict, or he didn't know what to do, or he missed his family. Since he was kind of alone on Earth, he would go to his fortress of solitude. It was a safe place for him, a place just for him. And it was in a beautiful frozen area with lots of icy spikes throughout it, uh, kind of like Elsa's castle in Frozen, but for Superman. And even in video games, too, we see that there are special places. They just feel different, even when you're walking through them in a video game. So this is the Temple of Time from the Zelda video games. You can see Link there. And here in this place, you can see the light shines in a calming way. There's these beautiful marble everywhere, candlelight. It feels like a special place. This is a place where stories are told, where important artifacts are stored, where people who are weak or injured can find rest and recovery. And even in this video game, this appears. And there are all kinds of special places that we go when we need to be alone and sort things out. In Star Wars, Luke Skywalker goes to an island to be away from everything else that's going on, to process some mistakes that he made, to think about them, to forgive himself. And he needs some time away to do that. So he goes to an island and spends time there in meditation and practicing his spiritual practices and his ways of life as a Jedi. And outside of the made up pretend world, outside of Star Wars and superheroes and video games, people do this too. In fact, lots of spiritual paths have places where people can go to do the same kind of thing, to live in their spiritual practices, to feel that kind of calm. So, all around the world, there are places where monks or um, other people who can go and live in these monasteries where they spend time in prayer and in meditation, doing humble work like farming and growing their food and cooking, living without a lot of material possessions. And it's a way for them to get rid of distractions and just kind of focus on being. It's a peaceful place for people. And it's a form of sanctuary. When we think about the word sanctuary, we have a sanctuary in our church. We have a chapel where we go to gather together in peace. Uh, and it can be a safe place for us. And when I think about sanctuary, I can't help but also think about things like animal sanctuaries and refuges, where you can see that animals can live in their natural environment. They're free from fear of human hunting or construction or building. And in these wildlife reservations or preserves, we have these sanctuaries where these animals can thrive and live in a peaceful way. They can be the bird that they are in their natural world. So when you think about what a sanctuary would be like for you, what do you think of? Maybe we can create one today. I have here a piece of paper and I drew some lines to kind of make it look like a room. And I'm going to think about what my inner sanctuary might look like and kind of draw an idea to help my imagination. Feel free to do this with me. Just grab a piece of paper. You can draw some lines to make it look like a room if you want, or maybe your sanctuary is on a mountain or your sanctuary is in the woods. Think, what would your inner sanctum look like? A place that you could visit in your imagination when you feel that need to find a space. Maybe your inner sanctum has some kind of altar. Maybe you have a chalice, or maybe not. Maybe your sanctum is indoors, or maybe it's outside. And there are trees all around you. There's some pine trees here. Maybe in these trees, there's birds that are singing. You can hear their song while you rest there. Maybe it's nice and dark in your sanctum and you have lots of comfy pillows where you can rest and lay down. There's my little bird. Maybe your inner sanctum is like an animal sanctuary. Maybe it's a safe place for all kinds of animals and you can see them in the sky. Maybe your inner sanctum has water near it or a waterfall. So you can hear the gentle sound of water. Maybe it has a river that you can play in, step your feet into. Maybe from your inner sanctum, there's a beautiful view in the distance of mountains that you can see far off. And from where you are, you can see all the area around you and see that it's safe and calm. Or maybe your inner sanctum is indoors. There are so many different ways each of us can feel safe and connected and able to be calm and at peace. Sometimes it can help to draw out what makes us feel peaceful. And then we can close our eyes and take a few deep breaths. And in our imagination, we can see the altar table with the chalice and the light. Maybe we can see all of the blue sky in the distance. We can hear the birds, maybe the squirrels chattering, the sound of water. We can feel more centered and calm. Sometimes, especially while social distancing, when we all are in the same house together, seeing the same people all the time, we can feel a little crowded. But I think it's important for us to find that time to feel safe and calm, to visit a place where we feel connected and at peace. I'd love to see some of the ways that you can build a little inner sanctuary for yourself. So if you draw some pictures today or have some amazing ideas or even just want to share what your inner sanctum would look like, is yours in a frozen wasteland like Superman, or is yours a beautiful building with stained glass? What does yours look like? I'd love for you to share in the comments. I'd love to read all about it and to know what ways you are coming up with to be calm and to create that space in your mind. Just like Lord Byron wrote in that poem, where it's not about not liking the people around you. It's about finding that calm, peaceful retreat that you can visit, even if you visit it in your mind. Thank you for joining today and for thinking about inner sanctums with me, fortresses of solitude, how you feel calm and connected. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, that you find some time to take trips in your imagination to wherever makes you feel calm and safe when you feel like you just need a little moment of solitude. Go and be blessed and be a blessing. See you next time.